Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Find some length in the spine. Just find whatever seat works for you, and if putting a little blanket underneath the sits beneficial, then do that. Find that length in the spine and start to let the eyes soften towards the floor. They might close completely. They just honor whatever feels right to you in this moment. And take in your surroundings, just becoming aware of noises, not analyzing, judging, or critiquing, just becoming aware of it, not attaching to it. It's just a noticing, as well as anything else that surfaces from your senses. Smell, taste, sense of feel, feeling the air on the skin, feeling the hands rest where they've landed. The most important and most useful is the awareness of the legs on the earth. Feeling those points of connection between the feet, the legs, the hips, and what's beneath. And then starting to move the awareness inward and notice the gentle flow of your breath as it is. Noticing even if there's an urge to control it, change it, manipulate it, just be with it as it is as best you can. The better lessons in life, but especially as we move forward this year. Being with the breath, being with the present moment, exactly how it shows up, letting go of attachment, letting go of what we think it should look like, and just being where we are. Knowing it will change. But for right now, here we are, this body, this breath, this moment. Our breath is our best tool to keep us here now. If you'd like, you might deepen and lengthen the breath. Just bring a little more awareness in, maybe a little sense of centering and calm. As you breathe in, pull it deeper down into the belly. As you breathe out, let that be slow and soft, melting belly back towards the spine. Taking a few more unhurried breaths, releasing the jaw, releasing facial muscles or any areas that might be gripping that you notice. Let's bring the palms together in front of the heart. Let the heart reach up towards the thumbs, the shoulders roll back. Take one cleansing breath together. Big full inhale. Releasing exhale. And gently release the hands to the knees or the thighs. And lengthen the torso. We'll gently tuck the chin, create length in the back of the neck. Try not to dump the head forward. Just keep the chin tucked in like you're giving yourself a double chin. Breathe into the sensations, the experience. Gently roll right ear to right shoulder. Notice each little micro movement along the way, and then exhale, chin to chest. And gently inhale, left shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. Just keep moving with the rhythm of your breath. And of course, organic movements are always welcome. This is about you doing you. You're not here to do me. I'm just your guide. There's always lots of options and choices. And this practice is about you listening to what you need in any given unfolding moment and honoring it. Stillness or movement, whatever serves. Next time the chin comes to center, just lift it up through neutral. When you get there, take the arms out to the side, sit up a little taller, take a nice full breath in, let the length of the spine carry the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Tailbone grounds down. Big inhale, big exhale. And sweep those arms out and up. As you exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, fingertips straight up towards the sky. Separate the hands, drop the shoulders, let the arms be like a funnel. As you just receive whatever it is you want, you need for your practice today, maybe on the mat, maybe off of the mat. When you feel ready, left hand to right knee, right hand to the floor behind you. Lengthen up through the spine and then start to open the heart, open to the right. Big breath in, sit up even taller, even if you come out of the shape a little bit. And then exhale, melt in a little deeper. And maybe the gaze goes to the back wall. Check in with your shoulders, relax them away from the ears. Soften the face. Let the breath be full and complete. Nice big breath here. Full inhale, find a little more length in the torso. As you exhale, release the hands, the belly button, the heart, and the head to the front of the room. Realign with a cleansing breath. Audible exhale. Let's sweep those arms out and up. And we release to the other side, finding your twist to the left. Lengthen up. And then open the heart and send the gaze to the back of the room. Take a few breaths here, not cranking, not pushing, just being where you are, breathing, and then softening into a little bit of a deeper twist. Welcome a full breath here. And we inhale, sit up tall, exhale, unravel back to the front of the space. When you arrive, find that breath. Let's go ahead and crisscross the legs in the opposite direction. When you get there, take the fingers out to the side. We'll just float the left arm up and over. You might bend the right elbow, drop that right shoulder, reach up and out the fingertips. Nice full breath. Keep that top shoulder rolling open. Make sure your left hip stays glued to the floor. Big inhale, big exhale. And then take a breath in to reach up. Pull that tummy in to support the low back and release the arm down. And let's take the other arm all the way up. And bring that arm over. Top shoulder rolls open. Take a few breaths. Remember, it's not deep. You go, find that length from hip to armpit, armpit to fingertips. Keep that top shoulder rolling open. Big inhale, big exhale. Reach the fingertips up and then release that arm down. Feel all that you feel go inward. Go ahead and straighten the legs right out in front of you. Flex the feet, toes point up, press energy out the heels. Take the hands a little bit behind you, lift up and out. Ground through the heels, like pressing down through the earth, so the knees might have a little bend, but pull those toes back towards your face. Press energy out the heels, one more breath. Good. Let's bend the right knee, let the sole of the foot come to the inner thigh, and we'll take the left leg straight out to the side. Making sure both sit bones are on the floor or a prop. And if you need to put something underneath that knee so that you're not falling into the knee and your bum leaves the ground, then go ahead and do that. We want both hip bones down. Lengthen up through the spine. Start with the fingers behind you, telling the pelvis to tilt forward. And then flex that left foot. Let's take a nice full breath. Feel free to stay just like that, especially if you have a rounded low back or it just feels good, or you could take the hands forward. Roll the shoulders back, finding length in the torso. Good. Nice full breath in, full breath out. Either stay there or start to walk the hands forward more. You could sway a little bit. I always like to find a little gentle sway to help open things up, but that's up to you. As always, I'm just your guide, giving you lots of options for you to find what works for you. And as you settle in, release the head, tuck the chin a little bit. If you'd like to move the head, finding a little more mobility and movement in the neck, feel free. Try not to grip the jaw or the forehead. Most important, stay connected to your breath. Full breath in, full breath out. Root your the floor. Low tummy pulls in as you start to lift yourself all the way up. When you arrive, roll the shoulders up and back. Take the right hand diagonal behind you. Left hand sweeps into the air. Feel free to stay here, stretching out the side body, or ground through the left heel, right shin, and lift those hips up. Press them forward. Open the heart. Reach the fingertips and maybe even the head towards the back of the room. Nice big opening. Big breath in and out. And then slowly spiral yourself back through center. When you arrive, sit up tall, constantly playing with this hoodie here, so forgive me. We're going to take that straight leg and bring it in front. Okay, so we have an option. You can take this bottom leg and bring the heel closer to the hip, so the knee is towards the front. And then let's take this leg up and over. So it can either be up here, or you can bring the heel closer to the hip, stacking the knees as best you can. But again, just make sure both sitting bones are on the floor. That's your priority. So wherever you land with this, it's fine. If you can, drag that heel closer to the hip and sit up nice and tall. So if sitting like this is pretty comfortable for you and not intense, you can walk the feet out and forward. That's going to make it a little more intense. I'm going to keep mine in today because my hips will be much happier that way. Sit up nice and tall. Take a nice full breath in and out. Notice where you feel sensation. So if you feel anything going on here, you might want to sit with that for a little bit. If you'd like, you can take the hands forward and start to hinge. Soften the jaw. Maybe you melt in even more if that feels good. Notice all the sensations. Just watch them, be with them as they are. Notice them change. Maybe if there's some tightening in the glutes, you might suggest a little release, a little letting go, even if that happens over and over and over again. Another 2 breaths here, unhurried. Bring the hands down, slowly lift yourselves up. When you arrive, lean back and undo the legs, take them wide, just a little windshield wiper to move all that around. Sniffles, apparently allergies, we've got the best of me. All right. And once you land, or once you're ready, go ahead and bend that left knee and straighten out the right. Take time to just see what is what here. Flex that foot through the heel, hands behind you, lift up and out, tilting the pelvis forward. Tune into sensation. Nice full breath. Either stay there or start to walk the hands forward. Try to keep a long, tall spine for right now as you melt in. Just go where feels right to you. You might release the head, tucking the chin. You can always find a little movement with the neck. Full breaths in, full breaths out. Big breath in, big breath out here. Root the hands, ground down to lift up. Roll the shoulders when you arrive. Left hand diagonally behind you as you're ready. Right arm sweeps up. Ground through the left shin and the right heel, and maybe send those hips forward. And then reach the fingertips, not just to the side, but maybe behind you a little bit. If it feels right to reach the head back, do that. Nice full breath. In your own time, spiraling back around through center. And sit up nice and tall. When you arrive, we'll bend the right knee and send the left knee towards the front. Bring that heel closer to the hip. Make sure both sitting bones are on the ground. This is the place where a lot of times we end up on one bone. We want both bones down. And then top leg crosses over just to the point that feels right for you. Seal those thighs as best you can. Walk the heels closer to the hips as best you can. Lengthen through the spine. Notice all those sensations. And only as you feel ready, you might take the hands forward. You might choose to stay like this for a few breaths before moving in deeper. Just be with the stretch, with the sensation, as long as it's not pain. Remember the difference between sensation and pain. If you decide to fold forward, take it slowly and just be with the breath. Be present in your body. Another 2 breaths here, unhurried. Root the hands down, slowly lift up, and release the hands behind you. Lean back, undo the legs. Let's take them wide, a little windshield wiper. Take them as wide as the mat or wider. The wider they go, the better this will work. And we're going to let the knees fall down to the right and just look behind you. You can even take that left hand and reach it behind you. Press the left hip forward. Big breath in, big breath out. Sweep that left hand all the way out in front of you. Lift those knees back up through center, and then let them fall down to the other side. Right hand look behind you. Press that right hip forward. Go ahead and swing yourself back through center. Soles of the feet come together. Bring those heels in as close as they'll go. Make sure you're sitting on a little something if you need it. We want to, at the very least, start to pull the flesh out from underneath so the low back is not rounded. Hands to the ankles, calves, or the shins rather, or the knees, wherever you can reach comfortably. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Start to pull whatever your hands are on towards you. Find that length in the spine. Soften the jaw. Release the knees to gravity. A few good breaths. Beautiful breath in, beautiful breath out. Bring the hands to the knees, slide them together. Give yourself a hug, let the head rest towards the knees. Take a big breath into the back of the heart. Maybe give yourself a kind word or two. When you feel ready, you can lift the head, the heart, the shoulders, and make your way around to tabletop. Moving your props out of the way. If you have blocks, have them at the top end of your mat so they're accessible when you need them. And when you get to tabletop, you can start moving through a little cat-cow. Spread the fingers, let there be space between the knees, Inhale, the heart opens, the shoulders go back. We're not sending the head all the way up. Let the gaze be out in front of you so the neck is long. And as you round the spine, tuck the chin, pull the belly button to the ceiling. Inhale, heart lifts, shoulders back. And exhale, round it up. Go through a few more. Tune into each micro movement in the spine. On your next exhale, we'll round the spine, pull the hips back towards the heels. Let the toes come together and even encourage those knees to go a little wider as we melt into child's pose. Let's walk the fingertips over to the left. Allow the fingertips to walk further away. Drop the head down. Take a nice big breath. Gently bring yourself back through center and over to the right. And we'll stretch the left fingertips a little further away. Relax the head between the arms. And then lift and come back through center. Take one breath in center. Inhale, lift up to tabletop. Knees come underneath the hips. Shoulders roll back. Extend your right leg behind you. Let's keep the toes on the ground for right now. Curl those toes under. And press the heel to the wall behind you. Nice full breath there. Keep the toes curled under as you shift the body weight forward, opening up the bottom of the foot. Send the heel to the wall behind you. And one more shift weight forward, open up the bottom of the foot. Let's find center, pull the tummy in. Either leave the toes on the ground or lift them. Keep that low belly pulling in, keep the hips square, flex the foot. And do a couple circles. So we're going to bend the right knee and circle the hip, bringing that knee to the outside. And then down and around, 2 circles in that direction, and then pause and go in the other direction. Nice and slow. That's where the magic is. And when you're done, extend the leg behind you. Cross over the midline, place the foot to the floor over to the left, and then look over the left shoulder. Try not to drop that right hip as best you can. Keep it lifted. Nice full breath looking towards the toes. Unwind the upper body, unwind the left leg, and release it back down to tabletop. Let's extend the left leg, toes to the ground. Curl those toes under, press the heel to the back wall. Shift the body weight forward, toes are curled under, so we're opening up the bottom of the foot. Heel presses back again. And shift forward. Now find your center, pull up behind the heart and the belly button, and maybe lift that left leg. Bend the left knee. We take a couple circles to the outside, trying to keep the torso pretty sturdy and just moving from the hip point. And then go in the other direction. Once you've done 2 in both directions, send that leg straight behind you. Cross over the midline, toes to the ground. Look over the right shoulder. Try not to dump that left hip down. Try to keep it lifted as best you can. Nice full breath. Unwind the upper body. Lift the leg, bring it through center, release it down. And we'll let the hips melt back into child's pose. You can roll the wrists a little bit. Nice full breaths in, full breaths out. Inhale, bring yourself back up into tabletop. Walk the hands forward a little bit, shoulders over wrists here. Now the hips come in front of the knees. This is more of your modified plank, so you can always choose to do this. Or curl the toes under and lift the knees up. Squeeze to the middle line, press the earth away. Lots of strength here, keep breathing. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's just melt in. Walk your dog, bend one knee, bend the other. Roll the shoulders out of the ears. Find your breath. When we do one vinyasa together, they're always optional and there's lots of ways you can modify it. Inhale, come forward into plank. Either keep knees up or lower them down, or we'll lower down to the earth. Inhale, baby cobra, shoulders back, elbows back. You can always go higher if that's in your practice. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, either press up through tabletop or up through plank. And back into downward facing dog. All vinyasas, just a reminder, you can skip, you can hang out in dog, or you can hang out in child's pose. As you are ready, we'll lift the left leg behind you. Don't fling it up. Nice and mindful. Slow lift. And step it forward. Bring that foot between the hands. Low lunge. Squeeze the inner thighs. Let the hips melt without collapsing. Length the spine. Another breath here. Drop the back knee down, uncurl the toes. Squeeze those inner thighs together and either bring the hands to the front knee, or float them all the way up. Big breath in and out, hold the low tummy in. Release the hands towards the wall behind you, find a big circle, and take those hands down to the ground. Curl the back toe, lift the back knee. Right hand grounds to the earth or a block, left hand to the left hip. Pull that hip back, and then stack left shoulder over right, and maybe that left arm lifts. Make sure your left foot stays grounded. All the corners of the feet. Release the left hand to the floor, and we step that right foot forward, forward fold. Take a couple breaths there, ground through the feet. Let the knees have a little bend, maybe a big bend. Another good breath in and out. Inhale, come up halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. And we reverse swan dive all the way up. And hands come to heart center. Feel your feet on the ground, feel your breath. Reconnect here. Bigger inhale, slower exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And we exhale right through center, forward fold. Ground the hands, step back with the left leg. Nice full breath here. Root down, rise all the way up, high lunge. Big inhale, big exhale. Find your drishti. Let your eyes rest on a point. Back knee can always have a little bend. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight. Good. Let's release the hands down. Come down slowly, mindfully. Fire up that glute to keep you stable. Root the hands to the ground. Step back into plank. Or you can move through your vinyasa your way, or we'll meet you right back in down dog. When you make your way in down dog, find a cleansing breath. Make sure the chin has a little tuck in it so the back of the neck is long. Right leg, very mindfully lift it up. Step it forward between the hands. Help it forward if it needs it. You can always grab that foot and pull it forward. Make sure the ankle is below or in front of the knee. You might melt the hips in a little more, find more length in the torso. Another breath. Gently release the back knee to the floor, uncurl the toes. Squeeze and lift. Hands to the front knee or thigh, or float them all the way up. Nice full breath here. Start to reach those arms behind you, opening up, then take the hands all the way down either side of that front foot. We curl the back toe, lift the back knee. Left hand grounds down, right hand to the hip, pull that hip back, step right shoulder over left, and then maybe that right arm lifts. Make sure that right knee is not falling out. We want to pull it in and keep it above the ankle. Right hand spirals down to the ground. Left leg steps forward, forward fold. Let the head dangle. Maybe a gentle shake of yes and no. See if the tailbone wants to rise up towards the ceiling a little more. Nice full breath. Ground through the feet, a little bend in the knees. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive. Don't forget to get the bend in the knees. Fire up the glutes and the core as you lift up. And hands to heart center. Nice full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way up. And exhale through center, forward fold. Step back with the right leg. You might take the feet a little wider from left to right to give you more stability. Ground down to float up for your high lunge. Remember that back leg is working towards straight, but if your hips are low back or happier with that back knee bent, then bend it. Nice full breath here. Release the hands down mindfully. Fire up that left glute to stay stable. Step back, find plank. Move through your vinyasa your way. You get into your down dog, take a nice full breath in and out. Left leg extends behind you. You're going to stack left hip over right, bend the left knee, let that left heel come towards the right glute. Another full breath, keep those shoulders squared to the floor though. Toes reach up towards the sky, square the hips to the earth. Left knee to the nose, pull in and up. Send that left leg back, three-legged dog. Step the left leg all the way forward. Open it forward if it needs it. As you arrive, get yourself situated from the hips down and then float all the way up for high lunge. When you arrive, we'll take the right arm forward, the left arm back, open the heart to the side, send your gaze to the side, find a new drishti. Either stay there or left hand comes to the back thigh. Right arm goes up. Maybe you drop in a little deeper and look behind you. New drishti. Another breath. You got this. We're going to cartwheel the hands. We're not collapsing down. Release the right heel to the ground. Warrior two. Yeah. Let yourself settle in. Give the hips a little movement. Look at where that knee has landed. Make sure it's pointing towards the second toe. Back foot is rooted. Find the foundation in your legs, nice and strong. Light and lifted in the heart. Left forearm, left thigh, right arm sweeps up and over the ear. Side angle. Take that top shoulder, roll it open a little bit. Ground through the legs a little more. If you want a little core action, let the left fingertips come out in front of the heart. Another full breath. Ground through the legs. Come back up into warrior two. Left palm lifts and we reverse it. Keep the legs as they are. Now that leg might be talking to you a little bit. Breathe into the left armpit, left ribs. Look cartwheel down. Back heel lifts. We're going to send that left leg all the way back, three-legged dog. Come forward into plank, stack left ankle over right. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze to the middle line. Take another breath. The left leg lifts up, three-legged dog, and we release that leg down. You can move through vinyasa or come through child's pose. Wherever you are, breathe, stay connected with whatever choices you make. We'll all make our way back into downward facing dog. When you get there, mindfully lift that right leg behind you. Stack the hips, bend the knee, let the knee reach up towards the ceiling, shoulders stay squared. Nice full breath there, opening up. Extend the foot towards the ceiling, square the hips. Let's bring the knee to the nose, squeeze in. Send the right leg behind you, three-legged dog. And we step it all the way forward, helping it forward if it needs it. As you arrive, settle in. Take the feet wider if they need that. And make your way up for high lunge. As you settle into your high lunge, finding your drishti, finding your strength and your stability. Left arm comes forward, right arm goes back, heart starts to open to the side. Find a new drishti, either stay there or back hand to the back thigh, front arm reaches up. Maybe you find a new drishti behind you. Go a little deeper, maybe not. One more breath. And then we're going to cartwheel the arms all the way around as that left heel draws down behind you for warrior two. Good. Check in, both arms should be shoulder height. The shoulders should be relaxed. Nice full breath here. Instead of hanging out in the shape, let's be the shape. Find a little more stability in the legs, lightness in the heart. Forearm to right thigh, left arm sweeps up and over. Roll that top shoulder open. Ground through the legs, either stay there or let the right fingertips come out in front of the heart. Nice full breath. And we release the arms back into warrior two. Flip the front palm and reverse it. Good breath here. Beautiful. Let's cartwheel down. We're going to take that right leg all the way back, three-legged dog. Shift forward into plank, right ankle over left. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hips up and back, right leg extends behind you. And then release that right foot to go to vinyasa if you want it, or child's pose, or go straight into down dog. We'll all meet in a few breaths. Finding your way back into down dog if you'd like to join in. Let's extend that left leg behind. Step it all the way forward. Help it forward if it needs.
As you arrive, let's walk the hands as far forward as they'll go. We're going to squeeze those inner thighs together and float that right foot forward and up, standing L. Square the hips so the right hip comes down. Now that right leg might stay parallel to the floor. It doesn't need to go up high, especially if it opens the hips. We want those hips square. Another breath here. Step the right foot to meet the left. Forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive. And all the way up. And hands come to the heart. Feel the feet on the ground, find your breath. This moment here, now. Sweep the arms all the way up. Big inhale. As you exhale, sit back into chair. Your hands can come to heart center if that makes your shoulders happier. Check in with your low back. You can even take your hand there. Is it really rounded and is your tailbone tucked in? Let's make it a little more neutral. Or is it a deep arch? Pull the tummy in. Another breath. I know I'm still talking. That's what we do as yoga teachers. Make the time pass. Let's sit down a little deeper. One more breath. Press down, lift all the way up. And then let's clasp the hands at the low back. Squeeze shoulder blades and elbows together. Lift the heart, pull the tummy in. Stay just like that. Or knuckles can start to go down, but keep squeezing shoulder blades and elbows together and don't hike the hips forward. Keep the hips above the ankles. Another full breath here. A little bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep all that good heart energy up. And bring it right through center, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with the right leg. Ground that right hand, left arm lifts. Little twist. Release the left hand down. And float back up into your high lunge. Hands to the heart. Hinge forward. So the heart is now above your left knee. Left leg's nice and strong. Slide that right leg forward and come into your version of warrior three. Remember, warrior three, your toes can be on the ground. With the heart, some balance here. Or start to hinge forward more. Arms anywhere you want them today. Maybe behind you, maybe at heart center, maybe out in front. One more breath, you got this. Step the right foot forward to meet the left. Tadasana. Big inhale. Let it go with the exhale. Another breath in, another breath out. And inhale, sweep the arms up. Clasp the hands, point them north. Left leg's going to slide back and then over behind you into the right. So that right hip's going to want to turn forward. Try to keep those hips even. Reach up and over to your right. Nice big breath. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, release the arms and step back through center. Roll the shoulders, open the heart. Tadasana. Feel your feet on the ground. Maybe the warmth of the skin. Encourage the breath to slow down. All right. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Come through center, forward, fold. Step back with the left leg, back with the right leg, plank. Move through your vinyasa or don't. We'll meet in down dog in a few breaths. As you are ready, in down dog, extend your right leg behind you. Step it all the way forward. Help it forward if it needs it. Stay rooted in the legs, walk the fingertips as far forward as they'll go. And start to slide that left leg up, standing L. Flex the left foot. Hips are squared, so that left leg's not going up super high. Another breath. Gently release left foot to meet right. Forward fold. You might clasp elbows here. Ground through the feet, let the tailbone lift. Nice full breath in, full breath out. Release the arms. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Take your time. Bring the hands to your heart. Feel the moment. Inhale, reach those arms all the way up. Exhale, we find chair pose. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze those glutes. Squeeze the core. Soften the jaw. Make sure the feet are grounded. Sit down a little deeper, maybe. Keep squeezing. Press down, lift up. And we swan dive, forward fold. Root the hands down, step back with the left leg. And then root down, rise up, find your high lunge. Good. As you settle in, bring your hands to your heart. Start to hinge forward. So we're hinging from the hips. That right hip loves to pop out. Let's keep it pulling back. That whole right hip and glute is strengthening. You got this. Hands to the heart. And slowly slide yourself forward into your warrior three for today, whatever that looks like. Use your breath. You got it. Very mindfully step left foot to meet right. Roll the shoulders. Nice full breath in. Full breath out. Sweep the arms all the way up. Clasp fingers, reach those knuckles to the sky. Right leg is going to slide back. And I'm going to take that right foot, cross it over the midline, so bring it over to your left. Try not to let the hips open. Keep pulling that right hip forward. Reach up and over. Nice full breath here. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, start to release the arms as the feet come side by side. Roll the shoulders. Big inhale. Let it go with the exhale. Let's sweep the arms all the way to the sky. Come right through center, forward fold. Step back with the right leg. Step back with the left leg, plank. Got a vinyasa if you want it. We will all meet in child's pose. Take a few mindful breaths. You might even rinse the eyebrow line along the floor. Notice what you can let go of with the exhale. You might notice if there's stories you're telling yourself. And you're limiting the leaps. Whatever you notice that is not serving you, take a nice big breath in and a bigger breath out to release it. Ground through the hands, start to lift yourself back up into tabletop. Bring the knees underneath. I'm going to walk the hands forward a little bit. Shoulders over wrists, knees are behind the hips. This can be done with knees down or curl the toes and lift those knees up. Plank. We're going to squeeze to the middle line, so squeeze those glutes, squeeze the core. We'll lift the right leg and tap out to the side. Try not to lift your hips. And then bring that right leg back in. The left leg lifts and taps out to the side. And then bring it back in. One more each side. Try not to lift the hips. Be glad you don't have to talk while you do it. Once you've released both sides, let the legs down. Slowly lower the thighs, the hips, the belly, the chest, and the head. You can stack arms and just take a moment to rest on the floor. Full breath in, full breath out. Bend the knees and gently windshield wiper the knees from left to right. And when you feel ready, release the feet to the floor. Feel free to stay like this, maybe switch to the other cheek, or we'll find our way into Sphinx. Forearms to the floor, elbows under shoulders. Shoulders roll back as the heart lifts and shines forward, crown of the head lifts. Low belly pulls in. Take a few breaths. Visualize the heart like a headlamp. Bright light shining forward. Brighter and brighter with each breath. Soften the jaw. Soften the glutes. Soften the forehead. Release the elbows a little bit wider, lowering down, and just come to rest on the opposite cheek. Nice full breath in, full breath out. We'll slide the hands back by the chest, elbows squeeze in by the ribs. We're going to press up to tabletop. When you get there, take the left arm out to the side, maybe up towards the ceiling, and thread the needle, left cheek, left shoulder to the floor. Press through the right fingertips as the right elbow opens up to the sky. You can walk the right fingertips towards the front of the mat if that feels good to you, or even to the top left of the mat to come in even deeper. If you'd like to take the right leg out to the side like a kickstand, feel free to do that. Wherever you land, find a few more breaths. Make sure there's space around the neck. Are the left fingers relaxed? And your breath. Right hand comes down in front of the face. Bring the leg in if it's out. Excuse me. Root down, unravel. Left arm reaches up to the sky. We come back to tabletop. We'll just move through a little cat-cow here. As you feel ready, come to neutral. Right arm will go out to the side, up towards the ceiling maybe, and then thread the needle on the other side. Right cheek, right shoulder to the floor. Left arm finds its way. Left leg might come out to the side if you choose. A full breath. Let's crawl the left fingers in front of the face, bring the leg in if it's out. Right arm spirals out and up. And release back to tabletop. Little cat-cow. You might even pulse in and out of child's pose as well. So your exhale pulls the hips back towards the heels. Your inhale scoops the heart forward. Sending little circles. What feels good to you here? It could be traditional cat-cow or hanging out in child's pose. Next time you're in tabletop, pause there. We're just going to let the hips fall to one side. Bring those feet around. You might scoot yourself towards the front edge of the mat. Excuse me. I'm going to take a little sip so I can continue talking. Let the feet root down. If you have a block, grab it. Let's put the block between the knees. Squeeze the block together so you can picture the block covered in coconut oil, like it's super slippery, even if it's not slippery right now. Squeeze, 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 nice and active. Reach the arms forward. Start to round the spine, pull the tummy in, lower down nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. As long as this feels okay on your back. You can, of course, come down as fast as possible. We'll meet down there, it's okay. When you get to the ground in your own time, keep the knees bent. You can grab that block and put it right next to you. Take a nice big belly. Just receive the earth. Feel the connection of the body to the ground. Good. Go ahead and take the hands, clasp them or grab elbows or rather wrists and take the arms up above. Pull the low tummy in so you're gently pressing the low back into the floor. Just gently. We're not so much where we're super rounded pelvis. So we have a nice neutral spine, core is engaged. I want you to lift the ball of the right foot so the heel of the right foot's still down. Then we're going to very slowly slide that leg, and it may not slide, you might have to kind of lift it and lower it a little, down away from you to the straight leg. Keep that core engaged as you very slowly and mindfully slide that right leg back. Heel goes down. Left ball of the left foot lifts. Find that low back. Press it into the floor. Core engages. We're going to slowly straighten the left leg. Take it slow. So you can be really present with the muscles that are working. And then bend the knee and bring it back in. Good. Release the arms down by your side. We're going to focus on shrinking the space between the heart and the belly button. So it's important to keep the neck relaxed here. So one way to do this is use your hands under your head so your head stays supported. We're not using the hands so that we can pull the head forward. We're just supporting the head so the neck doesn't need to work. Think about space from heart to belly button, and we're going to lift. Squeeze heart to belly button. Let the head be heavy in the hands. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep squeezing, even if it means there's a little shaking. And as we release, I want you to notice what lets go, because that's going to give you a lot of information. Release down, notice. If the neck releases, then you were gripping and holding in the neck. We're going to try it one more time. Heart to belly button. Start to lift. Let the head be heavy in the arms. Keep squeezing, lift a little more, maybe. And then slowly lower down. And let the head release. Take in the information. Find a nice full belly breath. Let's go ahead and let the arms come down by your side. Bring the knees into your chest. Find a little rock and roll. We'll Don't take the arms wide from the shoulders, palms face up. You can always take the arms down lower if that feels better in the shoulders. Pull the knees into the chest. Use some core strength to lower the knees over to the right. You can always grab that block between the legs for a little more hip or low back support, or put it underneath the knees to bring the floor up to you. And then let the left shoulder and arm rest towards the earth. You surrender into your twist. Of course, if you like a different version of a twist, feel free to do that. Find full inhales and full exhales, washing over the spiral in the spine. Noticing if there's gripping of the body or the mind. Attempt to release it. And a few more breaths here. It can be unhurried. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, pull the belly back towards the spine and start to pull those knees up through center. A little rock and roll. And when you're ready, pause and center. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Use your core strength to keep those knees lifted as you lower them down to the side. Once the legs hit the ground, that's when you can release that core work and settle into the twist. You let go a little bit more. A few more mindful breaths. Begin to welcome a full inhale. Pull the belly in as you exhale. Bring those knees back up to center. Rock and roll, massage the back body. Let's place the feet to the floor with bent knees. Hands down by your side. If you haven't already, you might want to loosen your ponytail a little bit. And lift through some moving bridge. As you press down through the feet and the arms, start to squeeze the glutes and lift the hips. And exhale, gently lower down, upper, middle, then lower back using your core strength. And keep flowing with your moving bridge. If you want to add the arms, you can take them up as the hips and lower them down as the hips lower. Remembering we're lifting each vertebra off the ground one at a time, unless that hurts. If that doesn't feel good on your back, if it doesn't feel safe for you, you can lift and lower more like a plank. Good. Just keep going in any way that feels right to you. Letting your inhale lift the hips. And your exhale, lower the hips. If you'd like to stay with moving bridge or even come and hang out in your traditional bridge, you can do that. Or grab hold of your block, place it on the lowest setting underneath your sacrum. If you don't have a block, a folded blanket will work as well. You can even do this without the block. You can also hang out here in your restorative bridge or let the knees float up above the hips, which can be done without the block if needed. And then the feet can float up as well. Only be here if it's effortless. If you feel like it's a lot of hamstring work or core work, then you might want to play with keeping the knees bent or even keeping the feet on the floor. Wherever you've landed, just take a few good breaths. See what you can release, practice, focusing on the rise and fall of the belly. It's a lovely thing to do before bed. Settling down doesn't come easily for you. You can even do it with the legs up against the wall instead of floating. Feel free to stay here longer or very gently and mindfully bend the knees. Place the feet to the floor one at a time. Feel the connection of the feet to the earth and maybe the shift of blood and energy as you root back down. Lift the hips, squeeze those glutes to keep those hips lifted. Move the block and lower down intentionally. Once you land down, take a nice big belly breath. Big exhale. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. If you'd like to find a happy baby, you can do that. Or just hang out in a hug and rock and roll. And then pause and center. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, release everything for Shavasana. Give yourself any props that you desire. A little something under the knees can be nice, or a blanket over the body. Sure to release those shoulders so the shoulder blades are flat to the floor, palms face up. Let the feet just fly. Take a nice big breath in, the biggest breath of the practice. Send it all the way down to the fingers and toes, and then open the mouth and just let it go. You might do that one more time. And a big letting go breath, releasing all effort, all energy. Just let it go and let yourself be supported. And you just be here now. Trust that the earth is supporting you. You can tune into effortlessness. You might allow the mind to see a big, blue, expansive sky. And just let yourself be that big, blue, expansive sky. Whatever shade of blue is your favorite for the sky. Clear, no clouds, no real weather. Let yourself settle into that spaciousness and expansion.
Begin to see the sun floating right above the head. And gently welcome the sun through the crown of the head, down the spine to rest right in your heart space. Allow yourself to rest with this light, beautiful, radiant, beaming light right at your heart space. Know with every effortless breath, those rays of light are shining and expanding over your whole body. These rays of light from your heart center, your life, are expanding to fill your space, your neighborhood, your community, country, the world. See the whole earth basking in that light. And we welcome the awareness back to that light within your heart. You know that it's there with you always. Feel the subtleties of movement in the physical body, the breath, the heartbeat. Might welcome the breath to deepen and lengthen as you gently come back into the physical body, your human suit. Gently wiggle the fingers and toes, and wrists and ankles. Stretching the arms, stretching the legs. Even though you're sliding back into this human suit, that light is still with you always. When you're ready, bend your knees and roll over to whichever side calls to you. Roll from side to side to help wake up the body, massage the back body. And take your time and eventually use that top arm to press yourself all the way up. As you come up, see yourself moving into your seat with that light right at your heart space. You can be connected, that light within and without. And still be connected to your human form. As you come upright, sit up a little taller. Feel the legs and hips on the earth. Feel lengthen the spine, crown of the head floats up. Take a nice big breath together, big full inhale. Big releasing exhale. And the palms together in front of your heart. And from my light to your light. And we all stay connected as one. Bowing down. Namaste.